Hi there, if I'm audible and visible to you, please give me a thumbs up in the chat box. Good evening, Bilal Khan. So I'm getting the responses from the students that yes, everything is right and we are good to go. So once again, a warm welcome to all the future officers. So guys, today we will be covering the most important current affairs from 26th to 27th of January 2024. And the topic that we are going to discuss is a very important topic, that is All India Survey of Higher Education report, which has been recently released by the Ministry of Education. So very important report from the exam point of view for all the exams, be it the RBI Grade B officer, NABARD Grade A officer exam. So when I talk about this particular report, guys, so let's start the session with the very first part, that is this report. So guys, we all know that higher education is of a vital importance for the country, as it is a powerful tool to build knowledge-based society of the 21st century. And India possesses a highly developed higher education system. And my dear friends, let me tell you that in view of the above scenario, Ministry of Education has initiated a survey, that is All India Survey of Higher Education in 2010-11, to build a robust database and to assess the correct picture of higher education in the country. Let me tell you that this survey is basically an annual exercise. Now a question must be popping out in your mind, that what exactly the higher education means. So here you can see that as per this survey, higher education is defined as education which is obtained after completing 10 years of schooling. So you can see here that the education which is being obtained after completing the 12 years of schooling, and that should be at least of the duration of 9 months and in a full-time manner. And when I talk about the another condition, that is, or it can be after completing the 10 years of schooling and is of the duration of at least 3 years, that is called the higher education. This education may be of any nature, like it can be the general, vocational, professional, or the technical education. So it can be anything from the above which are being mentioned. So this is basically what the higher education means. So I hope that this is very much clear to you. Okay, so guys, I think that I'm audible to all of you. Okay, so thank you, Mukul, for confirming the same. So guys, when I talk about this particular part, so Ministry of Education has recently released the All India Survey on Higher Education. So when I talk about this particular survey, it is being released annually by the Ministry of Education, and Ministry of Education is conducting this survey since 2011. And under this part, it covers all the higher educational institutes in the country which are registered with the All India Survey on Higher Education. When I talk about this survey basically covers all the institutions in the country which are engaged in imparting higher education. That means इंडिया के अंदर जो भी इंस्टीट्यूशन है जो हायर एजुकेशन इम्पार्ट करता है, दैट इज बेसिकली कवर्ड अंडर दिस पर्टिकुलर सर्वे. और ये सर्वे अक्रॉस डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स कलेक्ट करता है डेटा फ्रॉम दीज इंस्टीट्यूशंस, एंड दैट्स हाउ इट बेसिकली रियली हेल्प्स अस in making informed policy decisions and research for the development of education sector. What exactly these parameters are? These are the information related to the teachers, to the students, enrollment, programs, examination, results, education, finance, and infrastructure. So these are basically the different kind of parameters which are being used by this particular survey. Okay, so now when I talk about the key important findings from this particular survey, so as we are talking about the higher education institutions, so first of all we will be discussing the category of the number of institutions. So let me tell you that a total of 1168 universities or the university level institutions and 45,473 colleges and 12,002 standalone institutions were registered in Aisha 2021-2022. Now when I talk about this particular part, that what exactly these standalone institutions, so let me tell you that first of all the colleges are those which are affiliated with any kind of university, and the standalone institutions are those institutions which are not at all affiliated with any kind of university. So these are basically the important terms that you must note down. Okay, so when I talk about in India, basically since 2014-15, total of 341 universities have been established. So that is a change which has taken place in the last 10 years, that is from 2014-15 to 2021-2022. Okay, and as per this report, when I talk about the number of colleges and the universities which are exclusively for the women, so what is the number? Total 17 universities are exclusively for women, and 4470 colleges are exclusively for men. So that is basically the bifurcation between the number of universities which are exclusively for men, for the women, and 4470 colleges which are exclusively for women. I hope these points are very much clear to all of you. So after the number of institutions, the most important detail and the data that this particular report gives us is basically of the student enrollment. So as per this report, the total enrollment in higher education has basically increased to nearly 4.33 crore in 2021-2022. Let me tell you guys that this particular data was earlier only 4.14 crore last year, and it has increased to 4.33 crore in 2021-2022. That means there was increase of around 91 lakh in the enrollment from 3.42 crore in 2014 to 2015. Okay? So 2014-15 में it was 3.42 crore and it has increased by 91 lakh to the 4.33 crore. And here you can see from the help of this particular bar graph that what exactly the trend have been. From the 2017-18, you can see here that it is continuously increasing, and in the 2021-2022, that number has reached 4.33 crore. That is the student enrollment. That is the number of students which are enrolled into the higher education as per this particular report. So this was one of the most important finding from this particular report. Now, as the part of the students, we always know that there are female enrollments as well, which is a very, very important parameter which must be figured out, because we all know that we have certain schemes like Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Abhiyan. Okay, so that is why it is really very important that we should track that what exactly is the progress in the female enrollments. And let me tell you that female enrollments has also increased to 2.07 crore in 2021-2022, and this number was basically only 2.01 crore in 2020-2021. अगर हम बात करते हैं 2014-15 से तो कितना इंक्रीज हुआ है? बेसिकली इट वाज इंक्रीज्ड बाय अराउंड 50 लाख. तो 50 लाख यहाँ पर इंक्रीज हुआ है बिकॉज अर्लियर इट वाज 1.57 करोड़ in 2014-15. Okay, so from this particular part also you can see here from this graph that in 2017-2018 it was, what exactly is the number? It was around 1.7 crores and it has increased to 2.07 crores in 2021-2022. That really shows that yes, the schemes, the steps, the efforts which are taken by the government of India, they are really bringing success, and the female enrollments are really increasing in the previous years. Now, when I talk about the social category wise enrollment, in which we basically discuss the enrollment of the SC students, ST students and the OBC students. So guys, when I talk about the ST students, so these are basically, it means the scheduled caste which are notified under the Article 341 of the Constitution. When I talk about the ST students, so these are basically those which are notified under the Article 342 of the Indian Constitution. So if we talk about the number of enrollments of the SC students in the previous years, so you can see here that it has increased. In 2014-15, the number was 46.07 lakh and it has seen an increase of 44% to 66.23 lakhs in 2021-2022. When we talk about the ST students, so among the ST students, we have seen an increase of 65.2% and the number was 27.1 lakh. Let me tell you guys that in the previous year exams, we have seen this particular data that the question was being asked on these lines. That is why we have to make sure that yes, we are covering this data. And let me tell you that we have just framed this particular data for all of you in a most understanding and presentable manner so that you can really understand this particular part. Okay, so when I talk about the OBC students, so there was a 45% increase from 1.13 crore to 1.63 crore in 2021-2022. So among the social category wise enrollment as well, we are really required to track that what exactly was the progress of the female enrollments, and that is why we have separate table for the same. And you can see here that among the female students for the scheduled caste, you can see here that once again there was an increase of 51% from 14-15 to 31.71 lakh in 2021-2022. Similarly, the remarkable increase of 80% has been seen from 2014-15 to 2021-2022 for the ST female students. As you can see here that the number was only 7.47 lakh earlier, and it has increased to 13.46 lakh in 2021-2022. For the OBC female students, you can see here that there was an increase of 49.3% from 14-15. I hope this point is very much clear to all of you. Okay, so let me tell you guys that All India Survey on Higher Education, it is a very important report, and in the previous year exams we have seen the questions being asked in the regulatory bodies exams from this report. Like we have the RBI Grade B officer exam, NABARD Grade A officer exam. So we have seen multiple times that the questions are being asked from this report, and this is basically from a very important topic of social sector in India, education, which is a very important topic which is required to be covered from the exam point of view. Now, when I talk about the minority students enrollment, so as per this report, there was an increase of 38% in enrollment from 14-15 to 2021-2022, as the number was 30.1 lakh in 2021-2022. Let me tell you guys, you don't have to worry about the data, because this report is a very data heavy report. After 2 or 3 revisions, you will be able to understand that what exactly are the trends, and you can always use this data when you are basically answering the descriptive writing answers as well in the exam. Okay, so when I talk about the once again among the minority people, so what exactly was the female minority student enrollment? So it has also increased by 15.2 lakh in 2021-2022 from 10.7 lakh in 2014-15, which sees an increase of 42.3% increase in the female minority student enrollment. So I hope that this point is also much clear to all of you. Okay, so here we have seen that yes, we are getting it right. So minority student enrollment we have already covered. We have covered the social category wise enrollment, and now let's move on to the very important data which is really being asked in the exam, that is the gross enrollment ratio. So guys, अगर हम बात करते हैं gross enrollment ratio की, तो overall जो gross enrollment ratio थी, it has increased from 23.7 to 28.4% in 2021-2022. When we talk about the female gross enrollment ratio, it has increased to 28.5 from 22.9 in 2014-15. And you can see here the gross enrollment ratio for the SC category as well as ST categories, as well as it was 25.9 for 2021-2022 for the SC, and for the ST it was 21.2. So overall अगर हम बात करते हैं, the most important thing that you are required to remember is overall it was 28.4. So यहाँ से हमें क्या क्या पढ़ना है? हमें पढ़ना है gross enrollment ratio overall कितना है इंडिया का, that is 28.4. यहाँ पर कंपैरिजन किया गया है 2014-15 से, and earlier it was 23.7. But let me tell you guys that gross enrollment ratio आपको last year का भी याद रखना चाहिए, that was 27.3. 27.3 से increase होके it has moved to 28.4. That is the most important thing that you must cover. Okay, for the SC it was 25.9, for the ST it was 21.2. So all these data are really very important. That is the overall GER. What is that? What is the GER for the previous year? What is the GER for SCs and STs as per the iShare report 2021-2022? So all these data are collectively important to be covered from the exam point of view. ठीक है? So अगर हम बात करेंगे gross enrollment ratio की, तो वो क्या हुआ है उसका ट्रेंड अगर कहें तो it is basically increasing year by year. Okay? Now let's move on to the next important part, that is the gender parity index. So अगर gender parity index बात की जाए तो basically it is the gross enrollment ratio of the female to the male. That means अगर हम बात करते हैं gender parity index की, it is the ratio of the female GER to the male GER. अगर हम बात करते हैं for the GPI for this particular year, it is 1.01. It is 1.01 for the year 2021-2022. And a very important finding has been given that since the last 5 years, this GPI, that is the gender parity index, has been over 1 since 2017-18. That means 2017-18 से लेकर अभी तक continuously for the 5 years the value of the gender parity index has been 1.01. Okay, so this is a very important part and very important achievement for the country as well. Okay, so now let us talk about the other important part. So guys, हम कभी भी whenever we are discussing about the higher education, I told you that after the 10+2 जो भी education attain कर रहे हैं, that is the higher education. Then 10 years की schooling के बाद अगर हम 3 years की education कर रहे हैं, that is a part of this. Okay, so कभी भी हम college में जाते हैं तो हमें 3 तरीके के courses देखने को मिलते हैं, that is undergraduate, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट एंड द पीएचडी। जब आपने भी स्कूल में जब आपने भी कॉलेज में एडमिशन लिया होगा तो बेसिकली आपकी भी सीक्वेंस यही रही होगी, दैट इज अंडर ग्रेजुएट, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट एंड द पीएचडी लेवल। ओके, सो यहाँ पर उससे रिलेटेड डेटा भी हमें कवर करना जरूरी है। एंड एज पर द आईशे 2021-2022 रिपोर्ट, 78.9% of the total students they are enrolled in the undergraduate level courses, while 12.1% of the total students are under the postgraduate level courses. Okay, अगर हम बात करते हैं नंबर ऑफ कोर्सेज की, जो अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल में सबसे ज्यादा एनरोलमेंट कौन से सब्जेक्ट के अंदर है, सो दिस बेसिकली इट इज अंडर द आर्ट्स and it is being followed by science with 14.8%. When we talk about the maximum number of students which are enrolled in the postgraduate level courses, so basically it is the social science, as 21.1% enrollments are under the social science course. And when we talk about the PhD courses, so once again it is being seen that enrollment has increased by 81.2%, as in 2014-15 the number of people who are enrolling to the PhD courses, it was only 1.17 lakh, and it has increased to 2.12 lakh in 2021-2022. So these data are really very important to be covered. So जेंडर पैरिटी इंडेक्स आपको पता होना चाहिए, ठीक है, कितना है, व्हाट इज द नंबर फॉर 2021-2022। अगर हम बात करते हैं बाइफर्केशन की बिटवीन अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट लेवल कोर्सेज एंड द पीएचडी कोर्सेज, तो यहाँ पर भी हमें पता होना चाहिए कि दैट व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इज द बाइफर्केशन, कितने स्टूडेंट्स अंडर ग्रेजुएट लेवल पे हैं, कितने स्टूडेंट्स पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट लेवल पर पढ़ रहे हैं, ठीक है। एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द फीमेल पीएचडी एनरोलमेंट, तो ये भी यहाँ पर डबल हुई है। अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फाइंडिंग फ्रॉम दिस रिपोर्ट दैट the female PhD enrollment has doubled. Earlier it was around 0.48 lakh in 2014-15 and it has doubled to 0.99 lakh in 2021-2022. That is one of the most important finding from this particular report that we must cover from the exam point of view. So we have covered a lot amount of information guys, but let me tell you that this is not the end, because a very very important part that we are still left is that अगर हम combine करें collectively अंडर ग्रेजुएट, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट, पीएचडी एंड एमफिल लेवल्स की अगर हम बात करते हैं, तो वहां पर फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स की बात करें तो इट वाज 29.8 लाख स्टूडेंट्स एंड दे हैव आउट नंबर्ड द मेल स्टूडेंट्स, एज द नंबर ऑफ मेल स्टूडेंट्स वाज 27.4 लाख। ठीक है, तो टोटल स्टूडेंट्स की बात करें तो 57.2 लाख स्टूडेंट्स हैं विच हैव एनरोल्ड एज पर दिस पर्टिकुलर रिपोर्ट। ठीक है, और इसके अंदर अगर हम बात करते हैं तो बेसिकली और कलेक्टिवली अगर हम बात करें तो फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स हैव एनरोल्ड मोर एज कंपेयर टू द मेल स्टूडेंट्स एंड दे हैव आउटनंबर्ड द मेल स्टूडेंट्स। ओके, सो अभी बात आती है यूनिवर्सिटीज की। सो गाइस वी ऑल नो दैट इन आवर कंट्री देयर आर सम गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज, देयर आर सम प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज। अगर हम बात करते हैं गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज की, तो दे कॉन्स्टिट्यूट ऑफ 58.6% ऑफ द टोटल यूनिवर्सिटीज। टोटल यूनिवर्सिटीज में 58.6% है गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज। ओके, एंड दीज गवर्नमेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट 73.7% ऑफ द टोटल एनरोलमेंट। और अगर हम बात करें प्राइवेट यूनिवर्सिटीज की, दे अकाउंट्स फॉर 26.3% ऑफ द टोटल एनरोलमेंट, and that is what we are really required to remember from the exam point of view. Now we have covered the universities. Now what exactly is the important part? See, when you were also a student in the college, so you must have seen that every year so many people just completed their graduation और पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन। सो बेसिकली कितने स्टूडेंट्स पास आउट हो रहे हैं। ओके, तो वो डेटा भी हमें कवर करना जरूरी है। एंड व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट द टोटल नंबर ऑफ पास आउट्स, सो बेसिकली इट हैज इंक्रीज्ड फ्रॉम 95.4 लाख टू 1.07 crore in 2021-2022. And guys, you might have seen that in the various universities there are also people who come from abroad and they study in India. Basically the people who are not the citizen of the India. So these are basically the foreign nationals or foreign students, and the number of such kind of students in India which are enrolled in the higher education are 46,878 students. I hope that this point is very much clear to all of you. And now the most important pillar of any kind of institution is what? The most important pillar for any kind of institution is the faculty. The teachers are really very important, because without teachers there will be no education in those institutions, and that is why the teachers related data is also very important to be covered. So now let us cover the data related to the faculty. So अगर हम बात करते हैं total number of faculty teachers कितने थे 21-2022 के अंदर, so basically total 15.98 lakh faculties were there, and once again we can bifurcate between the male and female faculties as per the report. So as per the report, total of 56.6% of the faculties are male and 43.4% are female. अगर हम बात करते हैं फैकल्टीज की, तो यहाँ पर मेल्स टीचर्स ज़्यादा हैं एज कम्पेयर टू फीमेल टीचर्स, ओके। और अगर हम बात करते हैं नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स हु आर एनरोल्ड इन द यूजी, पीजी, एमफिल एंड द पीएचडी, तो वहाँ पर हमने कवर किया क्या, दैट फीमेल स्टूडेंट्स हैव आउटनंबर्ड द मेल स्टूडेंट्स. I hope these points are very much clear to you and you must have remembered this particular data. अगर हम बात करते हैं फीमेल फैकल्टी टीचर्स की, तो दे हैव इंक्रीज्ड टू 6.94 lakh in 2021-2022 to from 5.69 lakh. Okay, a very important data from the exam point of view. And you can see here that there was an increase of 22%, that is 1.25 lakh female faculty teachers from 2014-15 to 2021-2022. So that is another very important part. So guys, another important thing that we have seen, and in India, there is a problem of the pupil to teacher ratio. That means, well, how many teachers are there? Like for one group of student, what exactly is the number of the teachers? So that means basically अगर हम बात करते हैं pupil teacher ratio की, which basically shows कि एक टीचर कितने स्टूडेंट्स को यहाँ पर टीच कर रहा है, दैट इज द प्यूपिल टीचर रेशियो. एंड यू कैन सी हियर दैट इन द 2021-2022 फॉर द यूनिवर्सिटीज एंड कॉलेजेस इट वाज 24. द प्यूपिल टीचर रेशियो वाज 24 एंड फॉर द यूनिवर्सिटी एंड इट्स कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट यूनिट्स इट वाज 18. दैट मीन्स for every 24 students, we have one teacher. For every 18 students, we have one teacher in the university and its constituent units. And my dear friends, these are the most important data that we are required to cover from the exam point of view. So now we have covered all the important points that we are really required to cover from the All India Survey of Higher Education report 2021-2022, which has been recently released by the Ministry of Education. It is the annual report. And now guys, what exactly is the important thing now? The most important thing is that whether you have retained the information or not, and we will check it how, by solving some questions. So the questions for you are here. So very first question is here on the screen. You are required to identify the correct statement which are being mentioned here. Okay, so the statement number 1 in this particular question is that the survey was conducted by the Ministry of Commerce. Second statement is the first year, it is the first year that Ministry of Education is conducted the ISHE, that is All India Survey on Higher Education. Third statement is that the survey observed a decline in the student enrollment in higher education from the year 2014-15 to 2021-2022. And the statement number D is there was an increase of 91 lakh students in the higher education enrollment, marking a 26.5% increase. So guys, now this is the time for you to tell me what is the right answer to this question. So quickly tell me what is the right answer to this particular part. Question number 1. What is the right answer? Which of the following statements are correct with respect to All India Survey on Higher Education for the year 2021-2022? I can see here that Lucifer, Saurabh and so many people are saying that option D is the right answer. And guys, absolutely right. You guys are really right. And the right answer to this particular question is option D. That there was an increase of the 91 lakh students in higher education enrollment, marking 26.5% rise since 2014-15. Absolutely right. So all the people have given me the right answer. तो हम देख सकते हैं कि Ministry of Commerce ने नहीं बल्कि Ministry of Education ने इसको conduct किया है, and it is not the first time. Since 2010-11 the ministry is conducting this particular survey. So that is why these statements are absolutely incorrect. और अगर हम बात करते हैं फीमेल ग्रॉस एनरोलमेंट रेशियो की, तो ये डिक्रीज नहीं हुआ है बल्कि ये इंक्रीज हुआ है. Okay, so that's why this is the right part. Absolutely right. So all the people who have given me the right answer, well done guys. Let's move on to the next question. So अगला question भी आपके पास same report से है, that is from the All India Survey on Higher Education for the year 2021-2022. And you have to tell me, you have to identify the incorrect statement which are being mentioned here. So यहाँ पर मैं आपको बता दूंगा, सबसे पहले important बात है आपके लिए, that you must understand the demand of the question. It is asking you to identify incorrect statement. Okay. So now go through these statements and tell me what is the right answer. The statement number 1 says that the gross enrollment ratio of SC students has increased to 25.9 from 18.9 in the 2014-15. Statement number 2 states that the gross enrollment ratio of female ST students has shown even more spectacular increase to 20.9 from 12.2. And the third statement states that among the disciplines at undergraduate level in the ISHE, the enrollment is highest in science followed by arts. So guys, I told you that at the undergraduate level, it was not the science which was on the top, but it was arts, as many students are enrolled in the arts. So what will be the right answer? For the question number 2, the right answer will be option E. I can see here that Saurabh and Preeti have given me the right answer to this question. Absolutely right. So guys, now there is a googly question for you. Please tell me that in the postgraduate courses, can you tell me under which course the number of students enrolled was the highest? Please tell me for the post graduate part. पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट पार्ट के अंदर कौन से स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पर हाईएस्ट थे? किस कोर्स के अंदर स्टूडेंट्स वर हाईएस्ट? कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट वाज द राइट आंसर? इट वाज social science. Absolutely right, social science was the right answer. Absolutely right, Saurabh, it is social science. Okay, so that was the second question, guys, from this particular session. And now let us discuss the homework question from the previous session. So guys, in the previous session we have covered a very important scheme, that is the scheme for the promotion of coal lignite gasification project. And I was really shocked to see that most of the people have given answer as option D for this particular part. But guys, let me tell you that option D is not the right answer to this question. The right answer was option C. Okay, so you were basically required to identify the correct statement, and here when I talk about the statement number 2, it was incorrect. Why? Because here it is mentioned it is exclusively eligible. That means private sector projects are exclusively eligible, but they are not, because here once again we are having the government PSUs as well, which are eligible under the category number 2. That is why the right answer is option C, that is both 1 and 3 are absolutely right. And all the people who have given the right answer to this particular question, they are the star performers from the previous session. And you can see here that we have a long list today, as again that Parul, Amar, Harsh, Mukul, Kaushik, Rishi, Vaibhav, Swagat, Gagan, Gomati, Rakesh and Ragini, all the people are really, they are doing well. They have answered the question correctly. And my dear friends, if you also want to become the star performer of the today's session, what you are required to do? You are just required to give me the answer to this particular question which is here on the screen. So make sure that you give me the right answer to this particular question which is there on the screen, and tell me the right answers in the comment section after this particular session, and let's see that who will tell me the right answer to this question and who will be the star performer of the today's session. And guys, if you're still new to our YouTube channel, kindly subscribe to it and press the bell icon to receive all the latest updates of the courses and videos offered by us. And let me tell you guys that if you want to access the PDF of this session, then you will receive this PDF at the Telegram channel, the link to which is being given in the description of this particular session. Okay, तो link आपको मिल जाएगा description के अंदर, and that is a very important part. अगर आपको revision करनी है session की, तो आप session के साथ भी कर सकते हैं और PDF के साथ भी कर सकते हैं. And now this is the time for all of you to share your queries. So guys, if you are having any kind of query, feel free to ask your query in the chat box. And if you're watching the recorded part of the session, then you can also ask your queries in the comment section, and I will be answering you the right answer to that particular queries. And if you are having any other query related to the preparation, then you can also share your queries at hello@edutap.co.in, and you can also call us at 8146207241. ठीक है जी. So यहाँ पर there is a query from the Saurabh that is this report on Aisha is important, and so do we have to cram all these stats? See Saurabh, let me tell you that this particular report is one of the most important report which can be, from which the question can be asked in the exam, and the data that I have covered in this particular session, all those data are really very important. और यहाँ पर जहाँ पर मैंने आपको highlight किया है that yes, this data is the most important, तो उन datas पर make sure कि आप उनको note down करें और उसकी proper revision करें, because the question can be asked on that line. That is, as I told you, the gross enrollment ratio is very important. Okay, अगर हम बात करते हैं कि जेंडर पैरिटी इंडेक्स कितना था, तो ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं जो आपको पता होनी चाहिए. एंड गाइस, ऑल इंडिया सर्वे ऑन हायर एजुकेशन इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रिपोर्ट, एंड आई होप that yes, you should cover this report very comprehensively, as it can also help you in answering the descriptive writing questions from the exam point of view. Okay, so Lucifer was also having the same doubt, so I hope that your doubt is clear now, Lucifer, as well. So my dear friends, if you are having still any more doubts, feel free to ask your doubts in the chat box, and otherwise we will be concluding this particular session. So I am just waiting for one more minute for all of you to share your doubts, otherwise we will be concluding this particular session. So I can see here that there are no more doubts here in the chat box. So I think it's a good time to conclude this session. So my dear friends, it was really great to have here in this particular session, and we will be meeting you in the next session. Till then, stay happy, stay healthy. Wish you all happy learning.